The Volvo XC90 T8 twin-engine was one of the first plug-in hybrid SUVs on sale, so while some of its rivals are only just launching, the big Volvo has already had a facelift that brings a bigger battery and an official pure electric range of 28 miles. It's a compelling thing, the XC90 T8. Sure, it does look a bit expensive given the starting price of around £67,000, but that is comparably good value next to the Range Rover Sport P400 that is its closest rival, and it looks chuffing brilliant and comes with 7 seats. The biggest problem up until this facelift has been that the 2-litre petrol supercharged and turbocharged engine has been miserably uneconomical when the electric running is up. So let's find out whether the bigger 11.8 kilowatt-hour battery that is the most significant update for this car now can improve the electric running enough to make the petrol engine's economy less of a problem. The Volvo's charging socket is located on the front passenger side wing. Just pop it open to reveal the Type 2 socket, which will give you access to most public fast chargers. Plug it into a standard domestic socket with the 3-pin cable and the Volvo will charge up in around 6 hours. Plug it into a dedicated car charger and it'll charge up in 2.5 hours. There is no rapid charging with the XC90, so you can only charge up at slower AC chargers, and that 2.5 hour charging time is the fastest full top-up that you'll get, a very common situation with most plug-in hybrids. What is frustrating is that you have to pay £50 for a 4.5 metre Type 2 cable to give you access to those public chargers, which is particularly cheeky on such an expensive car, but you'll need it to access any charging station or wall box, so it's well worth having. There haven't been that many changes to the powertrain for the XC90 with this update, so you still get the same 2-litre supercharged and turbocharged petrol engine, complete with 299 brake horsepower, which is helped, of course, by the electric motor that puts out 86 brake horsepower. What has changed is the battery, which is up from 10.4 kilowatt hours to 11.8. And the reality of that is that we're seeing around about 21 miles of electric range in quite varied use, a bit of faster stuff including some motorway actually. So I reckon if you're going to spend most of your time around town, then you're going to see 25 miles pretty easily on electric running alone. And when it's in that mode, then of course it is really, really quiet as well, which is lovely. It's actually just lovely to drive, the XC90. Our test car has got optional air suspension, which is fairly expensive, but I think is worth adding because it does make the ride absolutely lovely. It's got a really sort of long, loping stride to it, and it just feels really relaxed, really unruffled all of the time. In terms of that electric running, it is worth mentioning that there is a hold function and a battery charge function in the Volvo, so you can charge up the batteries with the engine itself, or you can just hit hold and it will maintain the battery level until later in your journey, maybe if you're commuting down the motorway into town, that kind of thing. So that's really useful to have those two functions. When you are out of electric running, it has to be said that this petrol engine is no more economical than it ever used to be. It's a big car, it's a powerful engine. If you go for the Polestar engineered option that this test car has got, then you're looking at 312 brake horsepower, which is pretty impressive. So granted, that means it will do 0 to 62 in 5.8 seconds, but it also means that when you're out of battery charge, you are looking at low 20 mpgs. So bear in mind, more than ever with this car, if you're looking for efficiency, you need to make sure that you're going to be plugging it in regularly and doing mostly short journeys. If you're willing to live with that fuel economy in the name of having a bit of fun occasionally, then it's actually really good. This powertrain sounds great anyway and does 5.8 seconds to 0 to 62, but I tell you what, it does actually shift, this car, and it steers really nicely too. You can fling it around and really enjoy yourself. Is it as sharp as an I-Pace? No, not even close. It's a big car and it always feels like a big car. But, as I said, there is fun to be had here, even on a decent country road. And when you're done with that, and you're fed up of listening to the whine and pop of that powertrain, and possibly fed up of the 20 mpg you're going to be getting, then you can settle down, stick it in electric mode, and cruise home in really impressive refinement and comfort. In that respect, the XC90 is quite a two-faced car. You've got the refined, comfortable one, and you've got the noisy, fun one. And I think for most people that's exactly what they want. And if that's the case, the XC90 is absolutely spot on. It's not just that dual nature of comfort and fun that the XC90 specialises in. The four-wheel drive system also delivers a good level of off-road capability, and you can tow up to 2,400 kilos, making it one of the most practical plug-in hybrid 4x4s, although a retractable electric tow bar is a £1,000 option. The plug-in hybrid version of the XC90 is only available in the top 2 trim levels in the Volvo range, and that means R-Design or Inscription, which is basically the sporty one or the luxury one. You get really good equipment on both anyway, so you get leather upholstery, electrically adjustable heated front seats with memory function, 4-zone climate control, keyless entry, LED headlights, 20-inch wheels. You really do get most of the stuff you're going to want. In fact, it is actually better equipped than most of its rivals as standard. However, there are a few options you might want to add, including this panoramic glass roof, a head-up display, and if you're feeling generous, maybe some heated rear seats for the kids. One area where the Volvo does fall a little bit behind rivals is with its touchscreen system. It's perfectly good to use with all the functions you could want, including USB inputs, a decent nav system, online functionality and clear graphics, but the screen doesn't respond as quickly as you'd like it to, and you have to pay extra for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Not only that, but small details like the map you get if you use your smartphone maps being much smaller than the screen on the standard nav do let it down. It's just not as intuitive nor as advanced as the setup you get in a BMW, Audi or Land Rover. So while the infotainment system might leave a little bit to be desired, the XC90 does go some way to making up for that with really good safety equipment. In fact, as you'd expect with this brand, it's pretty much class leading. So you get the autonomous emergency braking that can sense a pedestrian, a car, a bike, or even a large animal. You also get lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control that combines to give you a really decent semi-autonomous driving mode. You get traffic sign recognition, front and rear parking sensors with reversing camera, which you can up to a 360-degree camera if you wish. The only other optional stuff that you might want to add is blind spot warning, and unfortunately you can't add a space saver tyre. You can only have the tyre inflation kit because there isn't room for anything else in the boot. There's loads of room for other stuff though. Those 6th and 7th seats in the back are standard, and while they are best for kids, adults will be fine for short journeys, and the additional carrying capacity that they offer is a huge part of the XC90's appeal. They're easy to fold or raise too, and with them stowed away, the boot is a really good size. It's a shame that the underfloor storage is a bit shallow, but if you pack well you can get both cables hidden away. Still, even the tallest of adults will be comfy in the middle row or the front seats, and neat touches like the standard sunshades for the rear seats and optional built-in booster seat promise to make this one of the best family cars out there, bar none. If you're after a really lavish, big plug-in hybrid SUV, the XC90 is absolutely one of the best options out there. Granted, it is going to cost more than £70,000 if you go for the options including air suspension and panoramic glass roof that most buyers are going to want to add. But given the standard equipment, that's still very competitive next to rivals like the Range Rover and even the forthcoming BMW X5 or pure electric alternatives like the Audi e-tron. So it's definitely got that bit nailed, and it's just gorgeous to drive and sit in. If you're after practical, lavish and comfortable, the XC90 has got it all. We love it, and we're sure that you will as well. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all of the electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews you could possibly want, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. While you're here, don't forget to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.